Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. There's even a brand new Brigadier General tier where you can get a shout out on a Commander's Quarters episode that's dedicated to you. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So the Wizards stream just ended, revealing all of the upcoming sets from 2022, and yeah, there's a lot to take in, and I'm going to try my very best to take you through each and every single thing that is coming out next year. Or at the very least, the main things, because, yeah, as you're about to see, there is quite a bit, and you can even just see from the thumbnail that there's a ton of things, and I wasn't even able to include every single thing in the thumbnail, and it was getting pretty crowded as it is. So with all that said though, let's jump into the schedule and then into the individual sets that are coming out next year. So let's check out the main sets from next year with this overall schedule, clearly labeled 2022 and broken down into quarters. First up, we're going back to Kamigawa in Q1 with Neon Dynasty. And then next up in Q2, we've got a brand new plane in Streets of New Capenna. Then in Q3, we're journeying all the way back to where it all began with Dominaria, but this time it's Dominaria United. And speaking of journeying back, we're going way back in Q4 with the Brothers War, and we'll get to it, but I bet you can guess which brothers those are. And just a quick note, I don't believe that the actual logos for Dominaria United and the Brothers War have been finalized, so that's why you just get the text versions of them here, but I'm excited to see what they actually look like. Regardless, now that we know the roadmap for the main sets of next year, let's jump into the details and what we know about each one, and some really cool art from each one too. So first up again in Q1, we've got Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. From their article, Wizards has this to say. First up, a trip that was years in the making, the feudal past of Kamigawa sets off the stage for the far-off future we return to with Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Filled with high-tech delight and homages to fan favorites, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty comes to stores in the first quarter of 2022. The Kamigawa block was beloved by many Magic players, and it featured a lot of really exciting legendary creatures. Now, I believe I heard this in the stream, but my apologies if I took incorrect notes, but yeah, this is Kamigawa, but set 2,000 years in the future from the original Kamigawa. And like the original Kamigawa, I am really hoping that we see some exciting legendaries from this set and some exciting new commanders and new mechanics, and yeah, I'm just really excited for this set. The art is absolutely amazing, and I'm excited to see even more art and of course more cards to come out in the future. So yeah, again, expect this in Q1, and if this is anything like this year's Q1, we're probably going to see it in early February, so spoiler season probably in January at some point, but again, do not hold me to that because I do not make the decisions for when these sets come out. Regardless, next up in Q2, we've got Streets of New Capenna. And in their article, Wizards had this to say about the set. Trailing after our trip to Kamigawa like a detective with gumption, the following standard release takes us to the streets of New Capenna, a city with special significance to Elspeth, built by angels, now run by three-color demon crime families. So it looks like there's quite a bit going on in this kind of gangster noir type of plane. And the phrase three-color demon crime families is definitely something I can get behind. So I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing shards or if we're going to be seeing wedges, but it's definitely got that Khans of Tarkir vibe being three-color focused. The art is obviously quite beautiful and quite different from the previous set with Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. And actually, that seems to be something that we're seeing in recent years where we take a big departure from set to set to set that allows different types of artists to really show up their styles. And of course, from this set, I'm really hoping that we see some really exciting big three-color commanders, maybe some angels, maybe some demons, and maybe Elspeth. But next up, let's move on to Q3 with Dominaria United, and again, yes, that is probably not the final logo. Regardless, Wizards in their article had this to say about the set. Dominaria holds a special place in Magic across the lore of game and in the hearts of fans around the world. With so much story and decades of Magic history packed into one plane, our next visit with Dominaria United is the perfect place to kick off our 30th anniversary celebration. So this is a trip back to the plane that started it all. Our most recent trip back to Dominaria was back in 2018 with the set, well, Dominaria. And I personally really enjoyed that set and all the commander goodies that came with it. And we got a ton of exciting commanders from it, even in the uncommon slot. I mean, Tatiova, yeah, there's nothing uncommon about that commander at all. Regardless, the art is definitely reminiscent of that set with that kind of high fantasy feel. So from Dominaria United, I'm sure we're going to see even more great commander goodies and more legendary creatures and whatever this thing is. You know, maybe it's Soul Ring. I don't know. Something. But now let's move on to the Q4 set with the Brothers War. And again, that is not the final logo. At least I don't believe it is, because you know what? They actually did bring this up in the stream. It's missing an apostrophe, but with that apostrophe, it apparently didn't look very good. So yeah, not a final logo. Regardless, Wizards had this to say about the set. While Magic's history stretches back 30 years, the lore of Dominaria itself is much longer. Returning to a pivotal story of Dominaria's and Magic's history, when started as a feud between Urza and Mishra, erupted into an all-out war that set into motion the future of the plane and multiverse itself. Through the lens of Dominaria's locations, characters, and victims of the conflict, we'll see a plane-spanning conflict escalate with artifacts, giant mechs, and beyond in the Brothers War, arriving to stores everywhere in the fourth quarter of 2022. So I know I keep saying this, but yeah, I'm really excited for this set too. Hopefully we'll actually get to see a playable Mishra commander in this set, and maybe even a fair Urza, though that is incredibly doubtful. But yeah, definitely sign me up for some incredible artifacts and giant mechs, and hopefully those giant mechs are vehicles, because that sounds like a lot of fun. My Galta Vehicles deck would definitely enjoy some more of those. But outside of this 2022 roadmap for the main sets of the year, we've also got some supplemental sets to talk about as well. So now let's talk about Dungeons & Dragons Battle for Baldur's Gate Commander Legends. And yeah, that's a mouthful. If you thought that Dungeons & Dragons Adventures of the Forgotten Realms was a mouthful, so is this. Regardless, here's what Wizards had to say about this supplemental set. The debut of Dungeons & Dragons Adventures of the Forgotten Realms brought a mix of Magic and D&D to life in amazing ways, with many more stories and characters from the Forgotten Realms to share. Focusing on the city of Baldur's Gate and building on the Commander-first gameplay of 2019's Commander Legends, our return to Commander Draft with Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate brings in iconic characters, new mechanics, more flavorful spells from D&D, plus Commander Legends style foil-etched legendary creatures, all packed into an even greater social experience. Be ready when the battle begins in the second quarter of 2022. Now, I and many other Commander players out there really enjoyed Commander Legends, and yeah, that set was a huge hit with Commander players. And yeah, actually as a level 7 Forest Gnome Cleric, I do play D&D as well. And I did enjoy D&D AFR. That being said, I'm not really sure how I feel about them mixing Commander Legends with D&D. To be completely honest, it kind of just struck me as unnecessary. I really like that Commander Legends kind of delve deeper into characters from Magic that we haven't seen. So, you know, we got like legendary creatures and legendary planeswalkers that haven't gotten cards up until now. But now with another D&D set coming out very soon after this current one just came out, we're just going to be digging further into the D&D universe instead of digging further into Magic's. So again, with the set that's most focused on Commander, we're going to be seeing it as a D&D set, and that just kind of throws me off. But time will tell, and maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe this is going to be a huge hit, and I'll really enjoy it. Regardless, next up, let's talk about Double Masters 2022. Wizards had this to say about this supplemental set. Everything fans loved about Double Masters, 2 foiled cards and 2 foil rare or mythic cards in each draft booster is back in Double Masters 2022 with more powerful reprints and a multicolored draft focus. All this and more arrives in the third quarter of 2022. So it's a complete reprint set, and like the original Double Masters, I expect this one to be quite expensive. But I'm hoping that there's enough product out there and enough key reprints out there to drop the price on some of my favorite cards, like hint hint wink wink, Wayfarer's Bauble. It was reprinted in one of the Forgotten Realms Commander decks, but some more reprints could help it get back into budget territory. Next up though, let's move on to Jumpstart 2022. Wizards had this to say about the supplemental set. In addition to MTG Arena's Jumpstart Historic Horizons, released just around the corner, we're excited to share that Tabletop gets a new twist on Jumpstart Action 2 with Jumpstart 2022 arriving to stores around the world in the fourth quarter of 2022. Leaping to new heights, Jumpstart 2022 comes packed with a new Booster Fun card treatment, a new to Magic card in every pack, dozens of themes to mix and match for fun, with plenty of amazing reprints for every fan to enjoy. So yeah, Jumpstart was a huge hit with a lot of Magic players, whether they're new players or old players. There was something for everything in Jumpstart. And actually, Jumpstart had some really exciting legendary commanders that are now quite expensive because that set's print production, kind of had some hiccups along the way. So hopefully the supply for this Jumpstart 2022 set is quite a bit higher and that people can actually get their hands on it, so we don't have, $60 or $70 commanders just running around. And the last of these supplemental sets from 2022 is going to be Unfinity. That's right, another unset is on its way in 2022. And here's what Wizards had to say about it. It's Magic, it's in space, it's retro-futuristic fun meets a space carnival you must see to believe. Unfinity brings the joy and celebration of combining Magic's mechanics with new characters, plenty of laughs, plus beautiful science fiction themed, full art, basic lands, and shock lands in both draft and collector booster packs releasing in the second quarter of 2022. So I'm not sure exactly when this is going to be coming out in comparison to Dungeons & Dragons, Battle for Baldur's Gate, Commander Legends, whatever they're calling that obnoxiously named long name set. It might be coming out before, it might be coming out after, we will just have to see. Regardless, if you're in unsets, this one sounds pretty crazy and off the wall and a lot of fun. And outside of sets, at least sets for 2022, two more products I want to talk about real quick, and we're going to start with Warhammer 40k. Actually, I'm not sure if it's 40,000 or 40k. Please let me know in the comments below. I don't play Warhammer, okay? Obviously, this is not a Magic IP, so it's going to be coming out as Universes Beyond. With this cross-promotion, there are going to be 4 Commander decks coming out from Warhammer 40,000. And though I don't see it in the article, I believe they mentioned that there's also going to be secret layers around this, but I'm not positive on that, so my apologies if I made a mistake in my notes on that. And the final thing that I'm going to be covering in this episode is the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. Now, yes, this episode is titled 2022 Revealed, but I had to talk about this one anyways, okay? This is coming out actually in 2023. The Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth is going to be a full Magic set release, and yeah, the very first Universes Beyond full set. And okay, technically with Universes Beyond, I don't believe they're counting D&D, so I think that's correct. Regardless, okay? Here's what Wizards had to say about it. Gandalf, Gollum, Frodo, Aragorn, the characters you know will immerse you in Middle-earth as you battle for the One Ring, scheme with Saruman, or journey to the heights of Mount Doom. So yeah, if you ever wanted a Gandalf commander, well, you're probably gonna get one, and it very well might just be this one. I believe on the stream they called this Gandalf Friend of the Shire, but don't hold me to that again. I tried to take the best notes that I could, but there was a lot of information, okay? And actually, one big piece of news that they did drop with this as well is that Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth is going to be modern legal. So, a Universes Beyond set that is legal in Modern. So you can take out your opponent with Death Shadow or, Gandalf. Woo! So Modern players out there, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Regardless, again, a ton of news came out today, and this wasn't even everything. But that's pretty much all I can include in one episode for now, okay? So I hope this episode helped you understand the roadmap for next year and a little bit of 2023 as well. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one.